Wow, they're so pretty. They look too good to eat. They look delicious. Are you really buying all of this for us, Ephorine? Of course. Dig in, Ephorine beamed, because I now have 100,000 elni. It's on me. Yay, Julia smiled. I already submitted the club establishment plan, so it should be approved soon. Consider this our first gathering in advance. I just hope the others don't hesitate too much. Not many people are signing up, a boy added. Don't worry, Julia reassured. As long as we run the club well, people will eventually join. By the way, I heard there was a training session at the Mountain of Darkness earlier today. Yeah, Ephorine nodded. 50 people volunteered for it, even though accidents happen there from time to time. Did you hear that? You too? Where did it come from? We need to check it out. Please help me, a faint voice called. Over there, Julia pointed. Wait, something's wrong, Ephorine. Stop. But it was too late. Where is this place? Ephorine looked around. I was just at the cafe street. Please help me. That's right. Someone was calling for help. I'm coming to help, she shouted. Over here. Are you all right? Kaya! Ephorine recoiled. What the? Someone's attacking! Her eyes widened as Decollane appeared, sword drawn. Professor, did you attack that woman just now? How can you attack a civilian? Open your eyes and look again, Decollane ordered coldly. That is not a person. What? It seems you were under the effect of an illusion. Something demons do. Huh? Ugh! Don't interfere and get lost. Qua! What is this? Now then, Decollane growled, stepping forward. It's time to hunt. Before him stood a monstrous creature, furious at the loss of its prey. A demonic being, illusions swirling around it. The core on its forehead marked its specialty, illusions. But Decollane's iron will and ancestral lineage made him immune. My blood is boiling. The renowned legacy of the Euclines, known for hunting demons since ancient times, manifests within me. I will never let a demon before me survive. This rage, you filthy creature. You spill filth, even at the moment of your death. The demon's appearance marked the true beginning, a signal that indicates the start of the game, without the player. Ephorine shot up with a gasp. Wah! A nurse quickly approached. You're awake, Luna! Ephorine blinked, disoriented. What happened? I was in the woods. Right. You must not remember anything, the nurse explained gently. Last night a demon appeared in the Mountain of Darkness. You were under that demon's bewitchment and passed out. Later you were found and moved to the clinic. The Mountain of Darkness was shut down because of that demon, and the Magic Tower is investigating the whole thing at the moment. Ah, Professor Decollane was the one who saved you, by the way. Damn it. Not him again, Ephorine groaned, sitting up. Ah, what day is it, by the way? It's been 36 hours since you got here. So it's Wednesday. Ephorine's eyes widened. Wait, if it's Wednesday... Wah! I'm late! She hurriedly gathered herself, bolting down corridors. Huff! Huff! I barely made it! Ify, over here! Julia waved her over. Julia! Ephorine called out. Are you okay? I came to see you at the clinic, but you weren't awake. I'm all right, Ephorine said quickly. Actually, I'm in the best condition possible because of all the sleep I got. But what's all this? Was there a notice I missed about today's class? Julia shook her head. I don't know. It was just like this when I got here. There must be some special lesson today. Ephorine looked around. Who's that? Decollane stood before the students. There's an announcement I have to make before I start the lecture. This is Alan. He'll be my teaching assistant. A ripple of surprise went through the students. What? I thought Professor Decollane preferred to teach alone. Yeah, I heard he's never had a teaching assistant. Ephorine furrowed her brow. But if you become a teaching assistant, you can build your resume through the professor evaluations. There's no way Professor Decollane would just let that happen. Right? That makes sense. It was also why my father was a researcher at 30 years old. He wasn't able to become a teaching assistant. So why did Decollane suddenly take in a mage I've never seen before as one? Today's lecture will be on learning by experiencing, Deculane announced. Try to solve the task given you in 3 hours. Alan stepped forward. Here's your timer. You too. Ephraim stared at the timer in her hands, her father's bracelet gleaming on her wrist. My dad's inheritance? This bracelet? I always asked myself whenever I looked at it, which had now become my vessel. Who was my father to Deculane? Why did he not give him even a chance? Why is he doing all these nice things now? No, let's focus. I need to finish my task. I need to think of a spell quickly, but my mind is filled with all different kinds of thoughts. 25 minutes and 15 seconds. I'm done, Sylvia declared. What? It hasn't even been 30 minutes yet. Of course it's Sylvia. Deculane nodded. Perfect. You may leave. Ephraim grit her teeth. Damn it, I need to get this done too. Julia, you may leave too. Lihin, you may leave. Roran, you may leave. Kane, you may leave. Eharon, you may leave. Drent. Alan checked the time. Professor, it's been 3 hours. Let's leave. Ephraim slumped in her seat. I'm done for. Please, think of something, please. Not only did I not do better than that damn it Sylvia, I was the only one who failed to do anything until the end of class. Why am I like this? Am I really so stupid that I can't even do something as simple as this? Yeah, I just didn't know better. Revenge my ass. I didn't even go to the academy. I can't compete at all. 5 hours and 47 seconds. How long do you intend on making me wait? Deculane's voice cut through the silence. Deculane? He's still here? You had a breakdown over an easy assignment and couldn't finish it in time, he said coldly. I'm sorry, Ephraim mumbled. Even if someone laughs at you, even if someone is ahead of you, even if the person you resent is right in front of you, you must be cold and logical at all times, Deculane lectured. You will never get to my level with such a weak mind. I'm disappointed, Ephraim. I thought you were better than that. I thought you were better than that. Ephraim clenched her fists. So what? I can do this even if someone like you isn't disappointed in me. I'll do it, no matter what it takes. Deculane assessed the situation calmly. This much shouldn't be a problem. He reflected on the time he had spent with Ephraim. I did spend over 6 hours on Ephraim, but that was a necessary cost. He knew she needed to grow for what was to come. The demon incident in the Mountain of Darkness had signaled that the main quest would soon begin. And when the age of overwhelming evil came, good aligned named characters would rise, and among them would be a stronger Ephraim. Right now, she lacks mental fortitude and the sensibilities of a mage, but once she overcomes these, she'll show overwhelming growth. That growth might pose a danger to me, but I won't let that happen. Fate is just a crutch for those who don't put in effort. I believe only in myself. Deculane's personality would never allow a debutante to catch up. Glancing at the timer, he noted 6 hours, 25 minutes. Assignment complete. She perfectly displays the innate flaws of a non-academy graduate, but the quality of these results is worthy of contesting for first place. Deculane made his way back toward his residence when a familiar voice called out, "Oh, Head Professor Deculane." Deculane's eyes narrowed. "Zeit?" Zeit chuckled. "Ha ha ha ha. Long time no see, Professor." Deculane tensed. What is he doing here? Zeit von Bruggen Frieden. The current head of the Frieden family, Julie's older brother, the one who pushed hardest for our engagement, and above Ganesha in initial combat strength as third place. A named character famous for his power. Why would someone like that come looking for me? Could it be about Julie's Snowflare Stone? If so, is this a death variable? I have no countermeasures against this monster. Zeit smiled warmly. What a pleasure it is to see you like this. I've heard that you and Julie haven't been getting along well lately, so I was rather worried. Is that so? Deculane answered neutrally. As such, I'm thinking of arranging dinner this week. That's fine with you, right? Luckily, it seems he's still friendly for now. Dinner is fine by a quick decision. I like that. Zeit beamed. I've prepared the menu to suit your taste, so just come. I've arranged for it, and I'll take responsibility for it. Well then, let's meet soon, Professor Deculane. Deculane sighed inwardly. He didn't even give me the opportunity to refuse. No, rather he made it so I couldn't. Zeit holds his household above all else. Who knows what might happen if I interfere with his plans? Seems like I won't be able to cancel this appointment. Meanwhile, at the knight's training grounds, Julie clenched her fists. I don't want to, Zeit scowled. Why are you so opposed to it? We both hate each other. Furthermore, I'm busy training the knights. I don't have the time to meet with him. Are you sulking just because he stole one measly snowflare stone from you? Julie snapped. Sulking? I'm telling you, that's not it. Then why else would he purchase metal that would only be of use when made into a weapon if not for you? If he really were to present me with a sword, then I would immediately break off the engagement, Julie shouted. Zeit's gaze hardened. Julie, think carefully. I told you before that doing so would be foolish. There's no place for emotions in politics. As far as I'm aware, there aren't any men that love you so. Or do you have someone you've taken a liking to? There isn't anyone like that. Are you that concerned about Dakulane's poor record? It has nothing to do with that. Then just why? Make sure to come on time. If there's a problem, let's settle it then. Ah, yeah! Julie screamed, her sword slashing through the air with furious energy. Veron, watching nearby, commented, Your sword is rather turbulent, my liege. Veron, Julie sighed. My apologies. I've shown you a disgraceful side of myself. Not at all, I understand, my liege. To begin with, I do not believe that abominable man is suitable for you. For the residing head to be forcefully pushing for your marriage with such a man is... Enough, Julie cut him off sharply. It does not suit a knight to speak ill of another behind their back. Don't dirty your hands for my sake. I'm fine. I'm heading back. Get ready. Yes, my liege. As Julie left, Veron murmured to himself, My liege, I've finally found an answer to this anguish and suffering. I have found a way to prove my loyalty as your vassal. It is something that only I can do. I will make you happy, my liege. Men gathered in hushed tones, murmuring rumors. They say a demon appeared at the Mountain of Darkness. To begin with, magecraft was created using mystic arts to crush the demonic. As demons have appeared, we must also take action. Send a letter to the 12 sorcerers to answer the summons of Brecht. Meanwhile, Deculane sat alone, examining the items he had bought at the auction. I'm finally done organizing everything. I can just equip Referen's ring to aid mana recovery, and the ancient rune necklace to store mana. The rest I'll store in a vault as per Ganesha's advice so I don't have to worry about thieves. Yet, one problem remained. The Frost Flame Stone. The most important item won't do as I want. I didn't expect to use it right away, but it won't even budge no matter how much telekinesis I use. Is its mana resisting my magic? It was too expensive in the game, so I never learned how to handle it. He recalled a passage he'd seen at the library. As famed swords must be tamed, the process is called communion, forming an understanding of the item itself. He attempted again. It took 2,000 mana to comprehend 0.1%. At this rate, it'll take a year. He sighed. This is the best I can do right now. Deculane rose. It's about time I get ready to go out. I have the dinner Zeit arranged today, and then the event set before I possessed this body. The death anniversary. At the dinner venue, Zeit greeted him. Thank you for coming. Julie left before I did, so she should be inside. Oh ho, you look gorgeous dressed like that, Julie. Deculane entered, taking in Julie's appearance. I didn't know, since she's always in armor, but she's beautiful when dressed like this. No wonder even Deculane fell for her. From somewhere, a thought drifted. Of course you don't know how much effort I put in. Zeit's voice cut in. So, you came too. Josephine gave a languid wave. I tagged along since I had to pick out Julie's dress anyway. Deculane tensed. I didn't notice her since I was drawn to Julie, but I didn't expect to meet Josephine here. He knew who she was. Josephine. Not just Julie's sister. A named character I must be wary of above anyone else. A sociopath, owner of the Shadow Intelligence Network, and regarded as one of the strongest, rivaling Zeit himself. He felt it the moment he walked in. Josephine's murderous intent directed at him, sensed through villain's fate. This death variable is that dangerous. In the end, I need to show Dekulain is serious about Julie to survive. Zeit clapped his hands. Let's get right to business before the meal comes. Professor Dekulain, when would you like to hold the ceremony? It's already been 3 years since the engagement, hasn't it? Julie interjected. Head. Zeit cut her off. The adults are talking. Dekulain raised his voice. Zeit grinned. Yes, please speak your mind. Dekulain declared. We'll leave this relationship fully in Julie's hands. If she does not believe in this marriage, I'm prepared to dissolve our engagement. Zeit frowned. Geez, how could you speak of dissolving the engagement so carelessly? Is it because you two have been distant lately? If so, you should focus on improving your relationship. Breaking an engagement isn't a simple matter. The family's elders wouldn't approve. Julie spoke up firmly. Family head, please allow the two of us to speak in private. Please. Zeit huffed. Very well. Let's go, Josephine. Josephine smiled sweetly. Okay. Well then, I hope the two of you have a nice chat. Once they left, Julie stared at Dekulain, her voice low and tense. What are you trying to do this time? What do you want? Julie demanded to know. Just what is it that you want? Dekulain's thoughts churned as he assessed the room. She's listening. Behind that door. Josephine is listening. He was certain of it. She put on an act, laughing as she went out, but I'm sure it was to cover up her wiretap. There's no way she would simply leave. Yet even in this tense situation, Dekulain recognized an opportunity. Josephine isn't aware that I know about her, and if he played this right, he might survive the coming danger. Dekulain genuinely loves Julie. If I can make her believe that, then I might be able to avoid this death variable. He turned to Julie and began, Julie, then forced himself to push past hesitation. I simply spoke my truth. Julie's eyes narrowed. Your truth? As you can see, I cannot dissolve this engagement as I wish, Dekulain confessed. No, rather there is nothing we can do about this. Things have progressed too far. Julie's voice was sharp and accusing. And so? What dirty method will you use to torment me this time? Before we were engaged, you used your connections to force this engagement. You promised to compensate our family's elders, and you do remember what you said to convince me? Julie, he murmured, but she was far from done. Fighting is dangerous. Because of that, you forced me to stop pursuing the Imperial Order, and you brazenly suggested that I take up the mantle of Captain of the Order of Hadakane, which is supervised by the Eucline family. And when I refused, you spread all kinds of rumors about me. Just what are you trying to start now? Dekulain could no longer pretend to ignore the weight of his actions. I know about all of this. He admitted to himself that he had confused his obsession and manic fixation over keeping her close for affection, and in doing so, had torn down everything around Julie so she had no choice but to stay. Dekulain did unforgivable things. Because of that, I understand Julie's hatred for me more than anyone. Then aloud he spoke words no one expected. I won't do that anymore. Julie shot back immediately. I won't fall for that. I know I've been tying you down. What? She asked, startled. I'm aware that what I've done is wrong, but I am not alone. Your elder sister and elder brother have both gone too far as well. Julie denied it. No, if that were not the case, they would have no reason to oppose dissolving our engagement, Dekulain reasoned. Was it not purely for the family's reputation? On top of that, you must leave your family in order to manifest your dream of becoming a defender, no? Julie's breath caught. How do you... But Dekulain pressed on. Julie, I possess neither honesty nor loyalty. What have you been talking about? She whispered, overwhelmed. I am someone entirely opposite to the human qualities you strive for. I am not suitable for you. Julie's voice cracked. Get to the point already. He did. There is only a single thing I can do for you. Continue our engagement, but never marry. I wish from the bottom of my heart to set you free. But given this tangled web of interests, I cannot. You may use my name to shield yourself for as long as you wish to. Until your preparations to manifest your dream bear fruit, I will continue to wait and maintain our engagement. Julie stared at him, suspicion heavy in her voice. What are you planning? Why are you saying all this now? Dekulayan answered quietly, It's not as though I'm expecting anything by saying this. However, if I were to hope for something, it would be for you to show me your smile once a month. That's all I want. And behind the door, Josephine reacted with disbelief. What? Inside, Dekulayan thought grimly to himself. Solely for the sake of avoiding death variables, I simply said the words she wanted to hear. Yet as he watched Julie grow flustered over his words, a warmth crept through his chest. She looks absolutely adorable. He couldn't help but admit it. Even the love that Dekulayan held for Julie. Julie's voice rose again, defensive, embarrassed. Are you trying to win me over with such embarrassing words? He smiled softly. Has become mine. Julie fumbled, trying to regain her composure. Anyway, I won't fall for that. I'll never fall for your schemes. Dekulayan chuckled. Why are you laughing? I said I won't fall for it. And outside, Josephine weighed what she had overheard. Though it's rather embarrassing. Does this mean his feelings are real? If so, then, shall I watch for just a little longer? Time passed swiftly. 3 days went by so quickly. Now the day had come, the death anniversary. Dekulayan reflected on the inevitable weight of such occasions. Just stepping foot in a cemetery will arouse one's emotions simply due to the atmosphere. The glow of the sunset that blends between the weeds and every crack on the tombstones. My heart melted into this place before my body had the chance. This is the place that bears my memories. But it wasn't Dekulayan's memories. Not Dekulayan's, but Kim Woo-jin's. Yu-ara declared one evening, I'm going to put an Easter egg in. Woo-jin blinked, confused. What? Dekulayan recalled how it happened late one night. Yu-ara had been speaking with excitement in her voice. I was thinking it would be nice to add a bit to Dekulayan's background. He's our game's mid-boss, so that much should be fine. I got permission from the author too. Woo-jin groaned, already imagining the extra work. That'll just pointlessly increase our workload, so don't bother. We're already doing full night shifts, you know? It's not directly related to sales, so let's not increase our workload, team leader. Yu-ara pouted. Why? This is pretty important in its own way. Woo-jin sighed, recognizing this routine. This again? But Yu-ara wouldn't back down. We have to put our hearts into the game after all. And as expected, Woo-jin rolled his eyes. There you go, spouting nonsense again, team leader. Do what you want. You didn't bring this up to ask my opinion on it anyway. Yu-ara grinned. I think it's a pretty good idea. It won't be pointless at all. Dekulayan has a bereaved past fiancé after all. Dekulayan remembered those days. Back then, Yu-ara would always talk excitedly whenever she had a fun idea. I wonder what she found so fun about it. Yu-ara asked then, Is that for the team members? Woo-jin replied matter-of-factly, This is the easiest way to take care of the people around you. Yu-ara teased him. Is that so? So you can be considerate too? Dekulayan thought to himself about the Easter egg she mentioned. I wonder what joke you left in as an Easter egg. What made you laugh so brightly? In order to recall Kim Woo-jin's memories, I must find those traces. Do I say it's brilliant, or do I say it's cruel of her? On a cold tombstone, the words shimmered faintly. Always grateful for you. It made him pause. Why did you engrave your name on this tombstone? Dekulayan was modeled after Kim Woo-jin. Why did Yu-ara use her own name for Dekulayan's bereaved fiancé? And just why? Did she thank me? That single word of gratitude twisted through him, stirring up memories and emotion. One mere word can rack my whole body with emotion, almost as though I can hear Yu-ara's voice whispering. Memories surged forth, unbidden. The way you praised my drawings with a bashful smile. The way you gave me a coat when I was shivering one cold winter night. The way you held me and told me you loved me. And the 7 years you spent always by my side. Those are my memories of her. A voice shattered the moment. Lockhart appeared, his voice thick with venom. I've finally found you, you filthy mage. Dekulayan wiped his face, composing himself, suppressing the tears as if they had never been there. Dekulayan's personality really comes in handy at times like this. A familiar face, one he'd been expecting. Yes? Deculen addressed him coolly. Lockhart sneered. You know about me? How unexpected. How dare an arrogant and conceited mage say that? Deculen remembered this man well. Wizard killer Lockhart. This guy is the mini-boss villain only available for mages, and the reason Lockhart was able to become a natural enemy of mages was because of his ability, magic nullification. Just as in other games, the nullification attribute is a cheat. Not only that, but Lockhart's attribute has no notable restrictions. Regardless of physical contact, magic cannot be used at all within his range. Lockhart laughed viciously. Gah ha ha ha, you stupid mage! Magic doesn't work on me. Most mages would tremble in fear at the mention of Lockhart. His ability was infamous. However, Lockhart lunged. Da! But to Deculen, it was meaningless. It's meaningless to me. Lockhart cursed. You son of a... Deculen reflected calmly on his advantage. Several days ago, I'd finally managed to acquire 10-1 in-store currency and purchased improvements in mana quality. This increased my efficiency at mana manipulation. He tested his power. It looks like I'll have to completely readjust to this. I only wanted to lift it a little, but I've become able to unleash a greater amount of force using the same amount of mana as before. A notification blinked before him. You will now be able to release mana more readily than before. Deculen analyzed it. It looks like this applies to a larger range than I'd expected. Well then, how about I continue my routine? He mused to himself. What happened? That's right. It's a slight exaggeration, but it raises the quality of a human as a whole. A conclusion settled in his mind. I knew it. Improvements in mana quality also applies to attributes. I would have been able to win against Lockhart with just Iron Man to begin with, but because the trait itself had gotten stronger, it was much easier than I expected. Lockhart was seething. Damn it, I should have been able to erase you damn rotten mages. You accursed mages, apostates, traitors against God, Viewsum, Berkt, and the Magic Tower. All of you are lunatics. You are worms who can't do anything without magic. Deculen observed him, noting every detail. A unique ability great enough to be considered a cheat, an intense rage directed at mages, and that expression, apostate. He made a realization. Lockhart, you are of the red film race. Lockhart paled. How do you... Deculen thought carefully to himself about the Bloodshroud race. The Bloodshroud race was given its name because they're born covered in a blood-red shroud of film. Their bloodline was known to be descended from the demons of ages past. They, who lived throughout the continent while hiding their identities, are opposite beings to the mages. Just as magecraft was created in order to fight demons, the conflict between mages and the Bloodshroud race was a central element in creating the worldview, and one of the main plot lines of this game's story. And because of that, their lives were constantly in danger, cursed by ancestry. That's why the Bloodshroud race have their lives endangered simply because of their ancestry. Cleansing could very well be occurring somewhere right at this very moment. He looked to Lockhart, acknowledging the weight of the past. Lockhart, I understand you. The ages of oppression and repression you've experienced are truly a shame. But still, if you kill an innocent mage, you would be a monster just like them. Lockhart, eyes burning, spat back. Shut up. What do you know? Enough with the bullshit and just kill me. Deculen's voice stayed firm. I know, since the Bloodshroud race is also innocent. It made Lockhart falter. What? What did a mere mage just say? Deculen announced his name and bloodline with calm authority. I am Euclene's Deculen. That is the family line of honorable nobles who have not lost their dignity. Lockhart sneered. Are you trying to act pretentious before you kill me? What useless... But Deculen pressed on. The only time I've lost dignity is when I faced a demon. The Eucline bloodline, who has hunted demons since ancient days, starts to burn up like we're seizing when we see demons. This is like an instinct that cannot be overcome. Lockhart, did I lose my dignity and composure in front of you? Confused, Lockhart muttered. What? Deculen kept his gaze steady. Or did I waver at your provocations? Did I go berserk as if seizing? You are humans. This is a true noble's dignity. You can trust me. A shout cut through the moment. Over there! Hurry! It was the inspectors. DeCoulain kept his expression composed. Then stay still and let yourself be arrested. Inspector Ropa arrived with a grin. I am Inspector Ropa. Your kick just then was incredible. As expected of head professor DeCoulain, this murderous bastard. Should I kick him some more? DeCoulain shook his head. It's fine. Leave him be. The inspector quickly straightened up. Ah, yes, sir. To think magic can be this impressive, DeCoulain instructed calmly. This bastard neutralizes magic anyway. Magic handcuffs are useless, so arrest him with this steel wire instead. Ropa's eyes widened. What? Really? No wonder he was so good at escaping. That'd also explain why the magically engineered radar didn't work. Curious, DeCoulain asked. But you're here quite early. Were you patrolling? The inspector was puzzled. Pardon? We came after receiving a report. It wasn't you who made it, Professor? DeCoulain shook his head. It wasn't me. Then I'll be off. Good work. The inspector quickly saluted. Yes, sir. DeCoulain was relieved. It's a relief I could conclude things without seeing blood. In the place traces of you still remain. I didn't want to hurt someone. Later, a meeting had been called in Bercht for the first time in 15 years. DeCoulain watched as Yariel arrived personally to deliver a message. You came yourself just to give me this parchment? Yariel spoke with irritation. Since you don't care, I have to come myself. Isn't it the role of the residing head to take care of their family? When will you be putting some clothes back on? She shifted into business. There was recently an incident where a demon appeared at the Mountain of Darkness. As a result of that, Bercht wants to bring you mages and discuss this, DeCoulain answered curtly. In a week, with one guard. That'll make it 2. Yariel raised an eyebrow. You need a guard? Then should I ask Jeff? He used to be a mercenary. DeCoulain dismissed it immediately. There's no need, even more so with a guy like Jeff who is more used to holding the steering wheel than weapons now. Yariel scowled. Sheesh. But you can't just go without a guard. I know my stuff. The journey to Bercht is one where your life can't be guaranteed. He arched a brow. Are you worrying about me? Yariel flushed and snapped. As if. Don't say something so gross. I just can't have you dying on me before I officially get the residing head position from you. Anyways, leave the guard issue to me. I'll commission it to a trustworthy place. Elsewhere, soldiers in training shouted in unison. Hap! Hua! Julie encouraged them. Nice! That's the right attitude. Maintain focus. Nearby, the vice captain hesitated. What should I do? Veron, leaning against a wall, answered flatly. What do you mean? The vice captain jumped, startled. Ach, at least make some noise when you move, Veron. He took a breath and explained. There's a commission that's come in for our order. It's a big one. But there's something that bothers me a little, so I don't know whether to accept it or not. Veron, calm and practical, advised him. Don't be worried on your own and share your concerns with the captain, vice captain. But the man grimaced. It's difficult to even bring it up to her in the first place. The commission is to guard DeCoulain. To be exact, it's to guard the entire train, but it's obvious. They knew that if it was to guard just them, we wouldn't accept it. So they're watering it down. Veron didn't hesitate. That commission, accept it. A mission to guard an entire train isn't something just anyone can do. If we succeed, the fame of our order will increase instantly. It'll also help us with the finances of our order, since we're a private order after all. The vice captain hesitated. But the captain and DeCoulain, Veron cut him off. No, our captain is not someone who would ever insert her personal emotions into a mission. The vice captain nodded. All right, then I'll go and mention it to the captain. Bercht. It was the name of the Alpines in the northern regions of the continent, at an altitude of 3,500 meters. It was also the sacred dwelling place of mages called elders. Bercht was where every school of sorcery across the continent submitted their ideas. The magic tower was a given, but even the floating islands of mages bowed to the decisions made there. Its influence was immense. It exerts an immense amount of influence, such that it could be called the pillar of the magic world. Summoning assemblies were rare, occurring only once every several decades. For a mage to receive a summon to Bercht was not only an honor, but also a recognition of their status as a sorcerer of renown. Yet Decolin knew another truth as well. A summon from Bercht is also known as a mage's grave. At the snowy transfer station, Julie approached with her usual cold authority. "You've made thorough preparations, right?" The vice captain saluted sharply. "Of course, don't worry. He's coming." Alan arrived, shivering as snow dusted his shoulders. "It's April, but there's so much snow, Professor. We really are up north." Julie turned to Decolin as he approached. "Thank you for coming all this way. Starting from this transfer station, the orders of Freyheim will be responsible for guarding the first half of the train." Decolin greeted her with a single word. "Julie?" She straightened. "We will do our utmost to guard you and ensure you have a comfortable trip." And then he reminded her softly, just loud enough for her to hear. "It would be for you to show me your smile once a month." Julie's mind raced. What do I do? Should I smile now? Should I? Really? How should I smile? A wide grin? Or just a slight smile? Why do I have to go through this? The vice captain, watching her unease, whispered to himself in admiration. Despite utterly loathing him, she is doing her utmost for his sake. "You truly are worthy of respect, Captain." "Captain, I shall handle—" A new voice cut in. "My name is Veron. I have been tasked with guard duty this time." Veron's introduction came steady and formal. "The two of them have only come here to show their respect after assigning me this important duty." The vice captain added quickly, "This brat here is a skilled man recognized by our whole order, so you have no need to worry, Professor." Decolin gave the young man a once-over, his sharp eyes narrowing. "A skilled man? Just in case, I should check with sharp eyesight. I don't sense any special energy from him. Am I just overthinking it?" Veron explained further. "Most mages are accompanied by an escort, so there is one assigned per cabin. I shall take charge of the cabin you will be in, Professor." Decolin nodded. "I'll be in your care." Julie, stiffly composed, turned to leave. "Well then, that's it for me. I wish you a safe trip." The vice captain hesitated. "Captain?" Decolin watched her go. "So you've kept your promise." Several hours later, inside the gently rocking train, Decolin addressed his assigned guard. "You can sleep if you're tired. We have several more hours ahead of us." Veron yawned. "Yes, then I'll sleep just a bit." Decolin reflected to himself. A summon from Bercht is also referred to as the mage's grave. There's a special reason for Bercht being seen as the pillar of the magic world, while also having that contrasting second face. It is because of the unexpected event that occurs every time the Bercht summoning assembly takes place. The train attack. Safely getting past this infamous event was one of Decolin's many death variables. This game would be choosing the safe train out of the ones heading for Bercht. If you wish to take the safe option, then you can buy the information of which train will be attacked from dark connections. That would have been the original Decolin's approach. However, that's not possible now, because I cut off all such dark connections after possessing Decolin. That's why I made several preparations to protect myself before I came. For example, it is the reason I acquired the martial arts techniques of the legendary fighter Estran using comprehension. He glanced at Alan, who was dozing peacefully across from him. Anyway, Alan sure is sleeping soundly, even though he was causing a fuss because of how excited he was earlier. A memory flickered up from several days ago. "Alan, would you come to Bercht with me as my assistant?" Alan's face had lit up instantly. "Of course." Decolin had warned him then. "Since it's dangerous, you're free to refuse." Tears shimmered in Alan's eyes. Sob. "Thank you so much, Professor. It's such an honor for someone like me to—" And deadpan as always, Decolin had replied, "If snot starts dripping down your nose, I'm not taking you with me." His personality as a germaphobe would never tolerate it, but how unexpected. I didn't think he'd come with me despite knowing how dangerous it is. Could he be more ambitious than I'd thought? Now the only station left was Bercht. Nothing had happened so far. Did I pick the right train? I made thorough preparations, but it looks like they'll be for naught. Before leaving, Decolin had gone to extensive lengths. I used Midas Touch on a well-known master's clothes to increase its defensive capabilities, and I strengthened the various wood steel that I'd spread around the inside of the train. I even applied it to Alan's clothes. But now, with the long journey half over, he felt the depletion of his resources. I've been using Midas Touch so much recently that I don't have much mana left. Should I have spent it on something else? What a waste. Then again, no. Preparations are preparations, but it would be best for nothing to happen. Phew. I hope things continue peacefully like this. Deculin glanced across the train cabin, a slight frown on his face as he addressed the young mage sitting across from him. Even on the train, you're not going to put down your book? A few days earlier, before Deculin left for Bercht, a quiet conversation had taken place between Glythion and Sylvia. Glythion asked her casually, "Do they give out a lot of assignments at the Magic Tower?" Sylvia, eyes still on her book, answered, "There are a lot of assignments, but I also missed a few classes." Glythion laughed. "Even though you're going to be an archmage in the future, you still work harder than anyone." Ha 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 ha. Sylvia didn't look up, replying quietly, "If I don't even do that much, how could I become an archmage? I'm honestly not even worried about Ephraim, but I wanted to listen to more of Deculin's lessons. Dad, why did we leave for Bercht's summoning assembly so early? We could have left in a few days." At that, Glythion's tone turned grave. "Have you heard about how the trip to Bercht is the graveyard of mages?" Sylvia raised a brow. "I thought that was just a ghost story." "It's not," Glythion said grimly. "Whenever there's a summoning to Bercht, a few mages always lose their lives. 15 years ago, 11 died. From long ago, getting summoned to Bercht was a sign you're from a prestigious family. If you are chosen among 20 families and attend, your family will be engraved in history. However, the families who were summoned but cannot attend the assembly are permanently expelled from the register, and there is the important rule that a few families will fill that empty space. What do you think is an easy way to drag those prestigious families down?" Sylvia felt a chill. No. Glythion's gaze was sharp. "Yes. The trip to Bercht is akin to skim ice, where those who want to become new prestigious sorcerers aim for the lives of the existing ones." Sylvia's throat tightened. "That's..." Glythion finished for her. "That's the reason we're rushing. I received intelligence that there's a group scheming to attack the train that's leaving later. I'm taking you along with me, so I wanted to be as careful as possible." Still hesitant, Sylvia protested. "However, if we're found out, there'll be an issue." Her father only sighed, speaking as if to steel her heart. "I should explain it to Sylvia since she will also face the cruelty of this world. Of the 12 traditional families, do you think any of the families were always traditional? If someone needs to be punished for this, it should be all the sorcerers. Deaths on the way to this assembly is basically like a magical, natural death." The memory faded as reality struck violently. On the moving train, Alan's startled scream broke the relative calm. "Ooh-ah! What is this? Pete, Professor, look at this. The entire train is in midair." A breath of relief followed as he added, "What a relief. Elementary telekinesis has been memorized." Deculin noted to himself that Estrin's martial arts played a part in their survival, but memorizing elementary telekinesis before the trip had been crucial. Somewhere nearby, one of the masked enemies hissed in disbelief. "How absurd! The entire train? Our head professors just built different?" Another barked orders. "It's a bit surprising, but we've just begun. Everyone focus. If we just succeed at this, we'll probably be rewarded." Deculin scoffed. "Morons. Unfortunately for you, I've already expected this much." The sound of bodies falling followed his words. "Quah, quah." Alan, still pale and rattled, shouted again. Professor, it's an attack." "Just what is this?" Deculin spoke calmly. "Rest for a bit, Alan." "Ugh." Alan staggered, overwhelmed. Deculin turned to Varon. "Varon, was it? Take this kid and move him to a safe place. And if there are any other passengers in the other rooms, evacuate them." Something felt off. It felt excessively soft. The sensitive 5 senses of Iron Man would definitely be able to tell the difference. "Perhaps, let me finish things up first before I think about it." He addressed the attackers without pity. You guys started this, so you must be aware, right? That your deaths here are natural deaths too. It had been more exhausting than expected. Decreasing the damage from the explosion while fighting drained his mana faster than anticipated. A moment later, Veron returned, reporting efficiently. I've moved all of the other passengers to a safe place. Decollane nodded. Good work. Then we should... But then something shifted in the air. This guy. His gaze is different from before. Well, I was also taken aback from the attack, so he must also be surprised. And in that moment, a notification seemed to click into place within his mind. Villain's fate? A cold realization dawned. Was he moving with me while hiding his attributes from the beginning? I let my guard down. Veron smiled and spoke softly, but his words were a dagger. It's a relief you survived. I have to kill you. Veron stepped forward, his tone grave as he spoke. I've safely evacuated the other passengers, so it is now your turn to die. Decollane, despite the pounding pain in his body and the suffocating atmosphere, didn't avert his gaze. Let me ask you one thing. Are you acting like this because someone is ordering you to do so? Is it Julie? Stop! Veron snapped, his voice sharp and trembling with fury. If you dare utter my master's name, I shan't forgive you. She is an understanding knight who'd never think of something like this. Cease your foul imagination. You will die by my hand. For master. Decollane narrowed his eyes, quickly reading the sincerity in Veron's outburst. This seems unrelated to Julie, seeing his reaction. Somewhere in his fading consciousness, Decollane recalled how even the vice-captain had vouched for this man. This guy is someone everyone in our order trusts. He took stock of his strength. I have 10 mana left. Can I defeat someone who's considered talented, even amongst the Order of Freyheim, in my current state? Veron's blade lifted, his stance set. Then my guard duty ends here. Ugh! Decollane grit his teeth. This is the only way. In that instant, he released the lingering telekinesis that had been supporting the hovering train. Cancel telekinesis. Elsewhere, far from the chaos, Sirio held out a treat. Would you like some, my lady? It's a Berked specialty, permanent snow ice cream. Sylvia didn't even glance at it. I'm fine. You can eat lots, Sirio. I'm sick of it. I already ate a lot. Sirio chuckled awkwardly. Uh-huh. Looking around, Sylvia asked quietly, Everyone's here? Pardon? Who? Sirio blinked. Other than Euclid and Rewind, everyone is here. Is there someone you're waiting for? Nope. Sylvia's voice was nonchalant. Sirio gave a polite nod. I'll be off then. Call me if you need anything. Okay, Sylvia murmured. Her thoughts drifted. Decollane. I didn't mean to see it. The memory surfaced unbidden. Of her mother, the proud mage Glythian's wife, and the lovely woman who raised her. How have you been, Mom? It had been a simple, ordinary day when she went to visit her mother's resting place and talked to her. It was a normal day like any other. She had vented, speaking aloud to the grave. Professor Decollane's terrible. He gives out so many assignments. It's as if he thinks it's only his class I'm taking. Today... But then a sound had reached her ears. She had turned. What is that sound? And there, she'd seen it. Unmistakable. Even from the back. Decollane. Even with only seeing his crumpled back, she could feel his noble posture. It was unmistakably Decollane at first glance. Just why is he at a place like this? I don't think of him as someone who'd mourn someone who's passed. And yet, he had been crying. He who was always cold and haughty was shedding tears. It had been fascinating. I always thought of him as an annoying professor who always acted high and mighty, but even he had memories of losing a loved one. Those tears, fleeting like shooting stars, had never left her thoughts. Glythion's voice echoed again in her mind. I received intelligence that there's a group scheming to attack the train that's leaving later. Sylvia shook herself out of it, focus returning. It's bothering me. After hearing Decollane's lecture back then, there was something I wanted to try. If I try using this mana stone as a medium, it might be possible. And so it began. Of magic's three attributes, Origins was created using the caster as the source. Sylvia's magic, composed of the three primary colors, began to manifest as it drew on the mana stone as its medium, taking visible form. "I did it," she whispered, smiling. Primary colors creation. She looked upon the shimmering construct she'd created. "From now on, your name is Swift. Fly, fly, and show me what you see." Back on the swaying, battered train, Deculain struggled to his feet, pain sharp in his ribs. The train luckily hung on and didn't fall to the ground. Though, I think I have a few broken bones. While I'll recover soon, thanks to Iron Man. His eyes flicked toward Veron, who still stood unharmed. "He's still fine? Protective chi?" Veron's voice came through, steady and relentless. "You sure are persistent." Deculain's mind raced. "He's strong." "Veron's far stronger than I am now. Even if I were in perfect condition, I wouldn't be able to beat him." However, a cold, hard instinct awoke. Resolute. Rare. Even if one breaks, they shall stay resolute and not bend. This activates in battle and consistently maintains mental power until the battle is over. Almost no mental interference magic will work. Deculain would never bend in a situation like this. Shit. He felt the weight of it. If I get cut by this sword, will the game end? Like nothing happened? Will I open my eyes in the office again? If not... He didn't let the thought finish. Deculain was sure it was over. One final strike would finish this. "It's over in what?" But the space around them suddenly warped, shimmering unnaturally. He tensed, eyes narrowing. Veron faltered, his body convulsing as a sharp cry escaped him. "Kwa!" Deculain didn't waste the opening. "I don't know what just happened, but this is my chance." His gaze flicked briefly to his depleted mana. Mana 1/3, 3,657. Not much left, but enough. Veron staggered, panting. "What did you just do?" Deculain steadied his breath, voice firm. "I don't know either. More importantly, why are you trying to kill me? I don't recall anything happening between us." Veron's eyes blazed with fury. "Why? I recall the evil deeds you committed against my liege." Deculain's brow furrowed. "Are you really saying this for Julie's sake? Even though Julie didn't ask you to do this? What is Julie to you for you to be doing this?" Veron spat back, bitterness thick in his voice. "You would never understand, Deculain." A memory surfaced, vivid as if happening now, a distant day from Veron's youth. "A woman, madame," gushed with gratitude. "Thank you so much. It could have been really bad if it weren't for you," Julie answered coolly, hand on her sword. "Of course, I just did my duty as a knight." Nearby, a scuffle. Veron, younger than, shouted, "Let me go! I haven't done anything wrong. That guy started it." Madame's voice was shrill. "Do you know how kind my Jason is? I'm sure you did something wrong." Jason grinned smugly. "Hey, hey, that's right." Veron clenched his fists. "Do you want to die?" "Oh? Have you still not learned your lesson?" the woman taunted. "What?" Veron's temper flared. Madame shook her head. "Let's see what happens to you when I hand you over to the police. You should be begging for forgiveness. You hit my child, so you're going to be charged for assault as well as trespassing." Julie raised a hand. "Hold on a bit, madame." The woman blinked. "Huh? Did you say he trespassed?" "Yes. His personality is fitting for his social status." Julie's eyes narrowed, considering. "He climbed those high walls? He's so skinny, too. Madame, I'll take the child to the police myself, so you should rest here." "Huh? That'd be nice for me, but..." Veron's voice broke through. "Let me go." "I said let me go. I was just defending myself. I didn't do anything worth going to the police for." Julie spoke softly, voice tempered. "The Frisia household is infamous for their behavior. I'm sure you're speaking the truth, at least partly." "It's not partly," Veron protested. "But," Julie cut him off, "you still shouldn't hit people. If you follow me, I'll teach you how to control yourself. What will you do?" The boy had hesitated, voice hopeful. You're gonna feed me, right? That was how Veron first met his liege. After that, he became a part of the Night Order. Yet, because of his rough childhood and volatile personality, he struggled to get along with others. The only person who ever cared for him was Julie. Veron, are you having a hard time with anything? She would ask. Everything's all right. And truly, back then, everything was. So long as he could remain beside his captain, his liege was always in front of him, aiding others, never compromising with injustice. His respect for her deepened, and inevitably, so did his love. But Veron knew, I know my emotions only get in her way. I know my emotions are a burden to her. Even so, here and now, he declared, however, I have to kill you. You will someday bring about the destruction of my liege. Diculane's chest tightened. He's right. Everything bad in this game is the butterfly effect of what Diculane has done. However, you're wrong. Resolute, he answered, I will change what Diculane has done. I will make sure that Deculane's ending is not one of destruction. Hold on, Veron. I will not harm Julie, no matter what. Trust me. But Veron's resolve was absolute. You don't intend to change your mind. No, I will not change my mind. I'll kill you no matter what, you fool. Your foolish choice today will torment Julie forever. The back aboard another part of the train, the vice captain spoke, concerned. Captain, are you feeling unwell? Julie forced a small laugh. Ah, it's nothing. Are you worried about Veron again? He can take care of himself. Julie let out a soft chuckle. Haha, that's right. Far away, in his heart, Veron whispered one final prayer. My liege, I hope you will be happy. Sylvia's expression was tense as she quietly murmured to herself. Deculane killed his guard, and the guard fell off the cliff. No. To be exact, the knight tried to kill Deculane first, and out of self-defense, Deculane killed him. A voice called out behind her. Here you were, Lady Sylvia. Let's go back. The assembly will begin soon. Sylvia glanced over at Sirio and nodded. Okay. Yet, her mind lingered. Deculane? Will he get here on time? Elsewhere, men were gathered around Lilia Fremien, the vice chief of the Security Bureau. One of them greeted her with respect. It's an honor, Vice Chief. Lilia's gaze was sharp. There was an explosion and attack? Yes, however, this is a common occurrence as the Burked summoning assembly nears, so it's not a big deal, one man reported. I see. Any casualties? Yes. While there were no injured, 2 people are currently missing, a guard named Veron and Professor Deculane. You can hear about the details from that survivor over there. Who is that? Lilia asked, glancing toward a man slumped against a nearby wall. Oh, I believe he's still unconscious from the shock of the incident. Another man, still dazed, spoke up. Some knight saved me. The train was midair for a bit, and when I woke up it had fallen. I think the assassins tried a second attack. Lilia raised an eyebrow. Midair? Here's a photo, the man said, shakily pulling out a picture. It was so shocking that I took a picture. Lilia's eyes widened slightly. Huh? Did he raise the entire train with magic? How absurd. A voice echoed in her head, a telepathic message cutting through. The knight Veron is dead. I don't know why, but Veron tried to kill Deculane and ultimately failed. Had Professor Deculane survived? What? Lilia muttered aloud, startled by the message. Just then, someone shouted, Someone is coming from over there. Professor Deculane? Deculane appeared, bruised, but composed. His thoughts were grim. If it weren't for the strange phenomenon that occurred then, I would have been killed by a knight who isn't even a named. Without the help of an unidentifiable person, I would be at the bottom of that cliff. I can't believe I'm so powerless. Just who was it that helped me back then? Lilia stepped forward. Head Professor Deculane, I see you're safe. I'm Lilia Fremien from the Security Bureau. I have some questions regarding the incident. Deculane cut her off. What time is it? Pardon? It's 3:30, she replied. I have 6 hours left. Lilia tried to refocus. They're formal questions, but the one with you... Is this train the only way to Burked? Lilia hesitated, then answered. No, There's also a road path and a sea route on the other side. She sighed, raising her voice slightly. Let me ask you again. Please hear me out until the end, Professor. The knight who was with you, wasn't Head Professor Decolane here just now? She looked around, confused. Huh. Perhaps he used acceleration magic. Her thoughts turned wary. Even after blocking the train from derailing with telekinesis and fighting assassins in Veron, he used the high-level magic known as accelerate. Just how much mana does that guy have? So he is the Deculine you mentioned, Lockhart. Meanwhile, at Bercht, Glytheon glanced at the sky. It's almost 9:53, the time the stars gather. Sylvia's heart tightened. He's still not here. At the assembly hall, DESTINED, the great elder of Bercht, stepped forward. His presence radiated power. Before the assembly begins, I express humble gratitude to those who have responded to the summons. Sylvia recognized the immense mana surrounding him. Incredible mana. He must be DESTINED, Bercht's great elder, the closest candidate to becoming an archmage, a living legend who left secular society of his own accord. So I have to at least be on that level to be able to challenge becoming an archmage. DESTINED's voice carried authority. After attendance, we will begin the assembly. Glytheon of the Iliad family. Here. Ethansil of the Bran family. Here. Baron of the Veorad family. Yes, I'm here. Ehelm of the Rewind family. Here. DESTINED's voice turned grave. Next, Deculane of the Eucline family. Eucline isn't here yet. If he doesn't arrive before I call his name 3 times, I will assume he did not respond to the summons, and he will be eliminated from the 12 sorcerers. Among the onlookers, murmurs spread. Eucline's elimination, huh? This is a major event, as they were first summoned 200 years ago. Another scoffed. A major event? Hasn't this been foreseen by many? The current residing head Deculane's capabilities are much more lacking compared to those of his ancestors. A third laughed derisively. That's right. There were often stories of how his talents did not amount to much. Ha 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 ha. Sylvia felt her stomach turn. Just how has Deculane lived his life until now for there not to be a single person worried about him? How pathetic. It bothered her more than she expected. DESTINED called again. Residing head Deculane. Eucline's residing head Deculane. Eucline's residing head Deculane, Sylvia shouted, unable to hold back. At that moment, a voice rang out from the entrance. Deculane von Grahan Eucline is here. Deculane stood tall. Eucline's residing head has arrived. The assembly hall fell silent as the missing sorcerer entered, alive, defiant, and against all odds, on time. The meeting began in silence, and to Deculane's relief, progressed swiftly. The first matter raised was regarding the demon that had appeared in the Black Mountain. Ethansil spoke with authority, insisting that each school needed to issue orders and cooperate with the church, dispatching mages into suspicious regions. It was a matter easily concluded. As Deculane noted to himself, Ethansil, the residing head with divinity, expressed an opinion none of the other families opposed, and so it passed without further issue. A young girl from the assembly called out, "We will take a short break." Deculane felt his exhaustion weighing heavily. "This is exhausting. I ran here like a madman to avoid being late. I have neither mana nor stamina left right now. And yet my appearance hasn't been impacted in the slightest. Deculane's traits and attributes really are annoyingly exceptional." In the midst of his thoughts, Alan came rushing toward him. "Professor!" Deculane turned to him. "Alan!" The boy looked worried. "Professor, are you all right? I'm sorry I'm late. I was told I wasn't allowed inside once the meeting had started." Deculane waved a hand, his voice firm. "I'm fine. Spare your worries." Yet inwardly, he thought grimly, "I can no longer think of this child as innocent. There's something undeniably off about him. But why am I thinking this way? For what purpose?" A quote from an old film in his previous world floated up in his mind. "Alan, just stand next to me from now on." "Pardon?" Alan blinked in surprise. "Keep your friend close, but your enemies closer," Deculane muttered under his breath. It'll be better for me to keep a close eye on him. Alan, I'll find out what you really are, no matter what. The meeting resumed, and Desectin spoke. The next matter is about what we should do regarding the blood-shroud sorcerer who has appeared. Decolane braced himself. A sensitive topic. This won't be as easily resolved as the previous one. Bitan, already visibly agitated, shouted, "The blood-shroud race are like cockroaches. They're breeding by secretly laying eggs within our society, corroding our lands." Ethansel, frowning, countered, "With what evidence are you saying such things?" "We don't have the means to differentiate blood-shrouds from other races," Betten scoffed. "We can just invent a way. There must be a clue using the race's features. We must eradicate them as soon as possible using the Imperial Magic Tower." "Watch your words, Betten. Eradicate?" Ethansel barked back. Deculaean sighed inwardly. "I knew their opinions would clash from the start." Betten's voice rose again. "I don't know what the reason is, but the blood shrouds are recognizing one another and gathering. I know without a doubt they have a leader. We don't know what they're scheming." "That's simply speculation, Beaton." "Speculation?" Beaton snarled. "Doesn't the idea of a blood shroud leader hiding and gathering others and us not knowing what they're plotting make you feel disgusted? Countless mages died because of your indecisiveness 60 years ago." Glytheon, watching the escalating debate, turned to Decolane. "Then what does Decolane of the Eucline think? Your family is the great house of exorcists who stood at the forefront of eradicating demons since long ago." Decolane took a steady breath. "As someone of the present, I'm well versed in these situations. Hatred that festers from neglecting to question always leads to unnecessary misfortune. However, setting that aside, suppressing the blood shrouds isn't right. Even if I can't stop this now, I need to delay it for the future's sake. After all, this world's true enemy isn't the blood shrouds." He spoke. "Long ago, the blood shrouds were indeed our enemy. However, if you review every single piece of literature, it all stems from a misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding?" Betan growled. "Yes." Decolane's tone was unflinching. 237 years ago, during the Rodran witch incident, Rodran was convicted of being a witch despite being innocent. From that event, a great suppression occurred, and many blood shrouds were killed. They retaliated, and the cycle of bloodshed continued, though it has now died down. And the incident you're referring to 60 years ago was nothing but politics. A mana stone mine was discovered on blood shroud land. "Politics!" Betten shouted, livid. "I don't think that a Eucline, who took that mine 60 years ago, should be defending them. I'm certain they're a bloodline born with demonic energy. The Eucline family who kills demons should know." "The tradition of the Eucline family is to hunt demons," Decolaean retorted coldly, "not to kill the blood shroud race." "They are demons!" Decolaean's voice was sharper than steel. "Can you take responsibility for those words? Do not declare humans as demons so nonchalantly. The one who says such a thing can, in turn, become the demon." The assembly quieted. No resolution was reached, and Desectin announced that the topic would be moved to the next day. Later, Glytheon sighed as he spoke to Sylvia. "It's a shame that I need to be away from you until the next meeting, my child." Sylvia shrugged. "It's tomorrow anyway. It's a rule that Burkt family members must stay in one room. You'll be all right alone, yes?" Sylvia rolled her eyes. "What are you saying? Normal kids my age have rooms separate from their dads." Glytheon chuckled softly. "But my child. Then, I'll see you tomorrow, my child. Those of the Burkt family have high mana densities, and because of that, all sorts of magical phenomena can occur at night, so read the hotel regulations." Yes, I'll be good, don't worry," Sylvia thought privately. "It feels like these rules are meant to scare young kids. I can just sleep peacefully, right?" Deciding to go to bed, she muttered, "I'm thirsty." But just as she stepped away from her bed, the space around her shifted unnaturally, the walls stretching and warping, twisting into a long, dimly lit hallway. Sylvia's eyes widened in alarm. "What? Did I do something wrong, perhaps?" The hallway stretched ahead ominously, and the night, it seemed, was only just beginning. Sylvia recalled the warning written in the guest regulations. "Once you lie down in bed, refrain from waking until morning, or you may find yourself in a different place. A knot tightened in her stomach. I can't get out until morning if I'm in bed? Is that why I'm like this right now? Back in the second hall where she'd stayed a few days ago, none of these strange magical phenomena had happened. But this time, she was near the assembly of elders. The mana density here was likely far thicker. She realized with a start that she'd been too complacent. I thought it would be fine if I just didn't leave my room. She took a breath. Calm down. Calm. But then, something moved in the corner of her vision. A shadow. A presence. Something's there. Where should I go? The rules came rushing back to her mind. The Rosary Hotel was a one-story building. Do not go up or down any stairs that may appear. And if an open door appeared while walking down the hallway, don't enter or look inside the room. Sylvia clenched her fists. I mustn't panic. There's a door. There's always a door that can take me back. Help. Someone. Anyone, please. Please. Suddenly, a familiar voice cut through the suffocating fear. Have you lost your way, Sylvia? Come in. It was Deculin. Relief washed over her, and she hurried into the room. Thank you. I'm sorry. I got up from my bed and suddenly ended up in the hallway. Deculin, standing tall with his usual unchanging appearance and steely gaze, replied calmly, Incredible magical phenomena always occur within Bercht. There are many spirits who've lost their consciousness to magic. You should have read the rules properly. Sylvia's thoughts spun, a never-changing appearance and an unwavering gaze. Is it because he's Deculin that he was able to open the door? Suddenly, a ghastly growl. Grrr. Grah! A hideous spirit lurched into view. Stay still, Deculin instructed. Before Sylvia could even gasp, Deculin's magic flared, erasing the apparition. Sylvia stared in awe. That was amazing. Were those roaming ghosts really killed? But Deculin's voice was flat. You needn't be shocked. It's simply a type of specialization magic designed solely to kill. It's nothing to be proud of, as magic wasn't created with the purpose to kill. Sylvia looked down at the spell pattern. That's flowing flame. Correct. Lightning. Good. Metallization. Indeed. This is goblin fire. Once again, good job. She huffed a little. Tsk. He didn't even look at it. Mischief stirred in her. Should I do something half-heartedly on purpose, then? Deciding to test him, she cast another formation. Deculin's eyes flickered toward it. You've done well. However, there's a bit of instability in the air magic circle you embedded into the fire. Sylvia bit her lip. Then, what's my weakness, Professor? You should figure that out yourself. She scowled. But you told Ephorine what hers was. Ephorine found that out by herself. Cease your impatience, Sylvia. Time is on your side. As long as you continue your dedication, you will improve. You can slowly work toward it, one step at a time. You are one of the 3 people who possesses such talent in this world. Those words struck her in a way she hadn't expected. All her life she'd been surrounded by hollow, insincere praise. Oh my, such astounding talent. She is fated to become an archmage. So strong at such an age, she has a bright future. They were words she'd heard countless times, meaningless as echoes in a cavern. But why? Why do Deculin's words feel different? Suddenly Deculin tensed. What's this energy? His instincts as a wealthy magnate alerted him. With the exception of the Bercht meeting, this mountain is largely inaccessible. I might just be able to get an item rarer than I thought. A spectral figure materialized nearby. Boo! 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 Unfazed, Deculin asked, Did you see an item possessing a lot of magic, perhaps? What's up with him? His gaze followed a peculiar glimmer. I found it. It was a curious, potent material radiating concentrated magical energy. This excitement buzzed under his skin. I was able to obtain a material surpassing my expectations. Ever since I came to this world, I've trained and conducted research without rest. And I've been in a slump because of Deculin's ordinary talent. He held the object in his hands, already imagining its potential. If I make a wand out of this, I might just be able to grow my power faster. This is far greater of a gain than I thought. A quiet grin played on his lips. Tonight had turned out better than he could have hoped. The reopened meeting carried a strange, heavy atmosphere, the air dense with unspoken tension. Batten, face flushed with frustration, snapped, "It's true they have the blood of demons flowing in them, yes? Then isn't it enough to say they're demons?" Decollane shot back sharply, his voice slicing through the chamber like a blade. "That's ridiculous. If you add salt to water, do you call that water salt instead?" The debate sent ripples of unease through the gathering of sorcerers. Whispers circled between them. "Decollane siding with the enemy?" One murmured. "Seems so. And here I thought he'd actively lead everyone to the enemy's location." Glythian's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "What picture is Decollane trying to paint?" Sylvia, watching from her seat, clenched her fists. "Everyone, just like my father, thinks Decollane has an ulterior motive for siding with the enemy. But they're wrong. He's just stating the obvious." At last, Dezekdan raised his hand, silencing the room. "Enough. A conclusion won't be devised at this rate. The matter regarding the blood shrouds will be carried over to the next meeting. Let's move to the next item on the agenda." Unlike the blood shrouds debate, the remaining topics were quickly resolved over the following days, and the meeting finally drew to a close. Batten, still fuming, scoffed, "Humph," before storming out. Decollane exhaled quietly. "While I wished for this outcome for the sake of the main quest's future, I've certainly estranged more people now." The next day found Decollane in Bercht's bustling shopping district. His mind was occupied. "I need to create a wand before leaving." What materials would suit a magical tree wand best? A familiar voice called out. "Huh? Professor! Professor!" Decollane turned to see Alan hurrying toward him. "What is it?" "That person over there, she's my hero. Because of her, I was able to come here safely." Following Alan's pointing hand, Decollane recognized her instantly. Lilia Fremian, Vice Chief of the Security Bureau. Lilia's gaze met his. "Professor Decollane?" They decided to treat Lilia to a meal to repay her for ensuring Alan's safety. Lilia accepted the invitation politely. "I thank you for the meal, Professor. Though I know it's rude to bring this up now, the investigation has concluded. What happened to the escort guard, Veron?" Decollane answered evenly. "He died because of an ambush." "I see." But elsewhere, things weren't as quiet. Deep inside an Imperial interrogation room, Lilia stood over a restrained Lockhart. "Under direct Imperial order, the Imperium Security Bureau sentences you to Lakordak, the most notorious prison there is. It's an obvious punishment for someone who's killed innocent mages. Do you have anything to say?" Lockhart remained silent. Lilia's voice sharpened. "Power. What? Activate your power." Lockhart chuckled darkly. "Heh, I did consider killing you, you know. If it were revealed that you're one of us, public opinion would crush me. Do you think leeching off this empire is possible if you act like that?" "It's possible as long as we're not exposed. People immediately see us as different upon birth." "No, it's because we're born with demon-like abilities. They're afraid of that." "Shut up!" Lilia spat. "The blood shrouds aren't the only ones born with abilities. And why did you provoke Decollane? We've been keeping an eye on the Euclanes." "Was it to kill him?" "We're only observing for now, but if he keeps causing problems, there's no reason not to kill him." "Don't." Lilia blinked. "What?" "He's a true noble. There's no need to kill him." Lilia scoffed. "A true noble? That's bullshit. I have a tub filled to the brim with crimes he's committed. But the grace of him affirming that the blood shrouds aren't demons, but humans. His eyes, showing no doubt, only righteousness. If there were more nobles like him, we could live alongside everyone else. Are you not aware it was the Eucline ancestors who stood at the forefront of slaughtering our people? I'm aware, but if we treat their descendants the same way, we're just proving their point." Lilia gritted her teeth. This son of a bitch really wants the last word. And you? How long do you think you can keep your position without getting caught? My entire life. They can't tell blood shrouds and humans apart by blood or appearance alone. There's just one food we can't eat. I simply avoid it. She sighed, rubbing her temples. Anyway, the Emperor's health is failing. Someone new will soon be appointed. and we need to observe how they'll treat us. Until then, lay low in Lakordak. Lockhart grinned. How is he the real noble? He's just the same annoying guy. Ugh, and the smell of alcohol on you. Meanwhile, Deculane's evening had barely begun before another familiar figure appeared before him. What now? Deculane asked coldly. I don't have much to say to you, Ehelm. Ehelm smirked, drunk or pretending to be. Really? I have something I want to hear, Deculane. Something from that dark soul of yours. At the same time, far away in the Order of Fremion's headquarters, Julie's expression hardened. What? Repeat what you just said. The vice captain hesitated. Veron has died. During the mission. Julie's grip tightened around the hilt of her sword. Get ready right away. I better get an explanation as soon as Deculaine returns. Lilia's gaze narrowed as she observed from a distance. This person, the current head of the Rewind family? What's going on all of a sudden? Ehelm approached Deculaine with a mocking grin, his voice laced with derision. You really caught me off guard during the meeting, Deculaine. I can't wrap my head around it. I wonder why you're doing this while being so cautious of another magic family. Just why? Are you siding with the Blood Shrouds, Deculaine? Lilia's eyes widened. What? Ehelm continued, undeterred. You said you wanted to annihilate them before, didn't you? I mean, even before that, you blabbered on about how lowly species shouldn't have the right to live. Your paper condemning the Blood Shrouds is still at the university, yes? Ah, did you perhaps find a Blood Shroud slave to conduct research for you? Alan, standing nearby, clenched his fists. How insolent! Stop insulting him! But Deculaine lifted a hand calmly. Calm down, Alan. I am fine. His cold gaze fixed on Ehelm. His brain is akin to rotten cheese. That line of thought is obvious coming from him. I can understand. Ehelm sneered. Sure, I heard there's 6 months left until the research presentation. Or is it 3 months? Let's see whether your shit talk is all for show or not. Lilia watched, conflicted. Deculaine, being wary of everyone else and siding with us, the Blood Shrouds, that Deculaine. She turned to Lockhart's earlier words in her mind. Is what you really said true? The following day, before leaving Berkt, Deculaine made one final stop. He commissioned one of the most renowned named craftsmen to forge a wand for him. The man was famous, and perhaps it was thanks to Deculaine having visited him in the past, but by doing so, Deculaine cleared a hidden quest he hadn't even known existed. On the train ride back to the Empire, Deculaine found himself sharing a carriage with Beitan. The hostility from Beitan was palpable, the man not even trying to hide it, though no conflict actually broke out during the trip. This long journey has finally come to an end, Deculaine thought. Alan hummed cheerfully. Professor, there's one train transfer left. We'll soon see different scenery other than snow. His voice cut off as his gaze landed ahead. Huh? There, standing by the platform, was Julie. Julie, Deculaine greeted quietly. Julie's expression was composed, though her voice betrayed a flicker of emotion. I've heard you were ambushed, and I'm glad you're safe. Thank you. He could already guess the rumors she must have heard, likely something from Veron, or from others. Either way, it was clear from the looks the nearby knights gave him. They didn't seem pleased he was the sole survivor. A bitter murmur from one man confirmed it. Why did only that prick survive? Julie stepped forward, her gaze steady. I read the news. It said you worked with him to save the victims. I'd like to ask you something. How was he? Deculaine hesitated. He'd been prepared to tell her the truth, that Veron had tried to kill him, that they fought, and it ended the way it did. But standing before her now, the words felt impossible to say. He wrestled with himself. Should I tell her the truth? He knew Julie, knew her unyielding convictions, but also her gentle heart. If she heard what really happened, she would blame herself. She'd carry that weight, claim her subordinate sins as her own, and torture herself. No, the right thing to do was to spare her, even if it meant enduring the hatred of others. A conductor called out, The fourth train is heading to the Empire. Those who have tickets, please proceed to board the train. Deculain forced the words out. It's difficult to say. He was emotional. Julie's expression didn't shift. Thank you. We will go see him now. Please rest comfortably. Deculain sighed inwardly. I am laughably the same. I can't get a grip over the feelings that Deculain, this body's original owner, had. Alan grumbled beside him. They're so rude. We're also victims, but the way they were looking at us was very distasteful. Deculain responded calmly. Worry not. They are simply foolish. A new voice entered the conversation. Why did you hold back? He turned. Sylvia? She didn't answer the question, instead offering a small box. Here's a gift. Alan peered at it curiously. What is that, Professor? Deculain gave a tired sigh. I don't know. Everything's exhausting, even until the very end. I just want to quickly get home and rest. He looked at Alan. Let's make haste and return. Alan straightened. Yes, Professor. And so, with the snow-covered mountains of Bercht behind them and uneasy futures ahead, they stepped onto the departing train. The report was being relayed in a somber tone. One of the men summarized the event with careful words. During the first ambush, Professor Deculain took care of the situation and rescued the survivors with Sir Veron. Then with the second ambush, the train fell upside down. It seems like Sir Veron fell during that ambush. However, the VIP car where Professor Deculain was miraculously hung by the cliff. To summarize, both of them tried their best to take control of the situation, but Sir Veron fell during the second ambush. Julie gave a simple nod. Thank you. The vice captain stepped forward hesitantly. Are there, perhaps, things we can take as keepsakes? No. The reply was curt. The vice captain lowered his gaze. And the person behind the ambush? Julie cut him off quietly. It is an unwritten law that we do not ask about the crimes that unfold on the way to Bercht. She stared ahead with empty eyes. I lost my reliable right arm. To think you left this world in vain. You foolish bastard. Far away at Eucline Estate, an uproar was already brewing. Deculain! Yariel stormed in, voice shrill with fury. You wrote another family check, didn't you? A servant anxiously intervened. My lady, please calm down. Yariel wasn't having it. Did you already forget what I told you? That our official situation isn't great? At this rate, we won't last for more than 2 months. You idiot. Deculain, composed as ever, calmly considered the situation. The fee to create the wand was greater than I thought, so this is what happens when I write a check. But Eucline's finances can only hold out for another 2 months? I need to take some sort of action. He raised a hand. Calm down a moment. I have a way to secure more funds. Yariel scowled. What? What are you doing all of a sudden? These are all the items you bought at auction because you wanted to flaunt your wealth. Just hold on, and speak more ladylike. You're the next head of the family. Yariel threw her hands up. What? You're nagging me about my choice of words when you're the one who made us bankrupt? The servant flinched. My lady, Deculain went on, explaining his realization. I didn't know what the reason was at first, why the items at the auction were excluding the energy of wealthy magnate. I just thought they were art investments that could exist in the real world. However, just recently I naturally came to realize something while I was getting ready to go back to Bercht, a way to use these items to increase wealth. He spread his hand forward. Midas touch. Yariel blinked. What are you doing, standing there with your hand out? Are you a moron? The servant whispered. My lady. Ignoring her, Deculain turned. There, I'm going to put these items up for auction again. Call for an appraiser. Yariel shrieked. What? Why are you selling these again when it hasn't even been long? You're supposed to hold on to antiques. These won't even go for half the price you paid for them. Deculain didn't waver. Be quiet, Yariel. What? Be quiet? You're the one who's throwing money away. Unfazed, Deculain gave orders. Roy, call an appraiser right away and transport these items. The servant bowed. I understand. Deculain gestured at a delicate vase. A vase that's worth 2.5 million Elna has become an item I don't want to sell. Handle them with care. Yariel tried one last time. Let's talk, Decolaine. Are you really going to sell all of these? Are you really planning to bankrupt us? He glanced back. Don't worry, we'll make money. Yariel fumed. What do you mean, don't worry? Decolaine checked his watch. Oh, it's time for me to head to work. Ah! Elsewhere, laughter and cards shuffled in a cozy room. A full house with kings, Ephraim declared triumphantly. Julia groaned. No! A boy nearby gasped. Ephraim has won 3 rounds already? Grinning, Ephraim stretched. Ha, I'm exempt from cleaning for a week. Another girl groaned in frustration. I was so close, if only that one card came out. Ephraim teased. That's an excuse for losers. Laughter erupted around the table. Ephraim took a breath, savoring the moment. This feels like a dream. I come from a barren family. I didn't even go to the academy. And ever since I entered the tower, I've been constantly hated by others. It's not just the students either. Even the professors don't take kindly to me. There were a lot of incidents. But to think, I'm in a club with friends now. I'm already liking this ordinary magic exploration club. Julia cautioned her softly. Superficially, we're just a normal magic exploration club, Ephraim. Watch what you say. Oh, I'm sorry. But trouble arrives soon enough. Relin burst in, voice sharp and disapproving. These ignorant kids. What is this? What the hell is this club doing? Beck, smirking beside him, added fuel. It's like I told you, Professor. These low-class commoners are only taking up the space of the magic tower and doing pointless things. Ephraim stiffened. Professor Relin and Beck. The two of them keep on making an issue out of everything concerning commoners. Relin scoffed at the club name. OMDC? This is ridiculous. Hey, I asked what you're doing. Though this wasn't an entirely unexpected visit, Ephraim knew she needed to handle this honorably. She stood her ground. We submitted a club creation plan and we were granted permission. We are an official club. Relin's face twisted. What? Who the hell allowed this stupid club to be formed? Wait, you're the lowlife that was punished that time. It's you again? Again with the lowlife. Relin pointed sharply. Ha! Look at this arrogant brat glaring at her professor. You, avert your eyes. Julia tugged at Ephraim's sleeve. Ephraim! Relin smirked smugly. Fine. If you're so confident, then tell me. There's no way a professor allowed a club like this. He grinned cruelly. See? I knew it. No professor allowed such a club to be. A cold voice interrupted him. It was me. The room fell silent. All eyes turned as Decolaine entered, his gaze as sharp as a blade. I allowed it. Do you have any complaints, Professor Relin? Ephraim's heart skipped. Decolaine! To be continued. We'll cover the next story very soon. Stay tuned. If you like the story, let me know in the comments.